Hello again, fairbinaryoptions.com here, and we are continuing our trading terminology video analysis here. We introduced the bullish and bearish concepts on the first part, and that the monetary policy can be either expanding or a tightening one. And when it is a tightening one, it is being called that a tightening cycle starts. Bullish or bearish is also being associated with hawkish. This is how it is being called. When Mr. Draghi is hawkish or bullish, it means it is talking the currency up, or dovish. Dovish means it is talking the currency down. When you are looking for the FOMC, for example, the Federal Open Market Committee, that it is being meeting on each and every 6 weeks in order to establish the interest rates in the United States, to see the changes in economic developments in the economy and so on and so forth. Out of those members, you may find out that an article or a tweet or a snapshot is going to tell you that out of those members, 4 were dovish and the rest were hawkish. Well, based on the difference between doves and hawks, you will have an idea if the US dollar is bullish or bearish, and then you can calibrate your binary options trading accordingly. So hawkish or dovish basically represents the same. Other terms in these days when it comes to monetary policy and financial products and instruments relate to quantitative easing. What does quantitative easing mean? Well, basically quantitative easing represents the government of a specific country or economy or an area or an economic area. It is being buying its own bonds with the purpose of stimulate the economy and create inflation. So quantitative easing is an unconventional measure. Unconventional measure that central bankers are doing when things are going out of control. A central bank has a mandate in the United States is to create jobs and to keep inflation below or close to 2%. In Europe, for example, it is to keep inflation below or close to 2%. Well, if inflation is not coming, or actually deflation, then unconventional measures like quantitative easing programs or bond buying programs are being called as well. So quantitative easing also means or equals bond buying programs are tools that a central bank can take. Also, the concept of forward guidance has been introduced, and forward guidance stands for a central bank trying to communicate as much as possible its intentions in order to reduce volatility on the markets. I don't know if there is something that really works, because at this very moment with the forward guidance, markets are focusing mostly on what's next than the actual decision. For example, let's assume that the ECB is cutting the interest rates. Well, it is cutting the interest rates, and as a consequence, the euro drops all over the place, all over the dashboard. But 45 minutes later at the press conference, Mr. Draghi may come and say, well, we've cut the interest rates, but we don't plan to cut them anymore for the next 1.5 years or 2. And then you will see that based on the forward guidance and not the actual cut, the euro will rise when compared with the initial reaction. In the United States, for example, besides the forward guidance, has been introduced the concept of Steph projections. What does it mean, the Steph? Well, Fed Steph projections means that all those troops of economists, researchers, and so on and so forth, they are making a projection for the things that matter the most for the Federal Reserve of the United States. I'm talking about job creations, inflation, or the CPI, and they are projecting them together with forward guidance all the way in 2 or 3 or 5 years forward. So based on those projections, forward guidance is communicated, and one can find out if unconventional measures are still needed or not. Thank you for being here, and let's move on with our project.